straight away with the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, we're going straight to the cream of the crop on this podcast. We don't mince about. We don't mess about. Some notable signings. I said a word then that I probably shouldn't have said, and I just realised, but it's fine. So we've got Jalen Moore, the left tackle formerly of San Francisco, going to the Kansas City Chiefs, which was quite an early signing and a bit of a surprise value one as well. We had Christian Fulton, the cornerback, Charles Omenihu, who re-signed, Elijah Mitchell coming over to strengthen up their running back room, along with re-signing Kareem Hunt. And notable departures with Andre Hopkins, Justin Reid, DJ Humphries, Tershawn Wharton, Josh Uche, Derek Nardi. And then looking at the draft, obviously they were very, very, very low down in the pecking order in the draft. They're actually the 32nd pick. In the end, they picked Josh Simmons from Ohio State, the tackle. They took Omar Norman Lott, defensive tackle out of Tennessee, at the 63rd pick. They not a huge amount of picks, the Kansas City Chiefs, admittedly, in that draft. I mean, Sky, all eyes are going to be on the Chiefs, aren't they? Because they're just that darn good. And even when we think they're not very good, like we didn't think they were very good last season, they still get to the Super Bowl. It's just rinse and repeat for these guys, right?
Yeah, but it's the end of the dynasty, ain't it? It's the end.
End of the dynasty. Would you call it a dynasty? And obviously, you being the Patriots fan that you are, know all about dynasties.
They have to be for how consistently they've made AFC Championship and Super Bowl. So I'm not going to be that harsh on them. I just think that obviously we touched upon it when we were talking about the AFC North teams. I've talked about the Ravens. I think the Chiefs weren't a 15-2 team. I think Kelsey's not going to be the same. The Rashee Rice suspension will be handed out at some point. Chris Jones has been the standout guy on that defense when they've been winning, but he's now a year older, and I think, without being too critical, clearly wasn't as dominant last year as he has been when the Chiefs have been winning. And look, they're still going to be competitive, and they're still going to be a double-digit win team. I just think that, as much as you're always in with a chance with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, and I think that Josh Simmons is a nice pick. It's not a sexy pick. I spoke about O-line before. He could be their answer at left tackle. I just think that this division has a lot of strengths, and it's one where, if the Chiefs, it could be, would be 10 in a row. I think if they win it this year, I think it's the end. I think someone's going to bring it to a halt. But I say all of that now. They've got, Tyquan Thornton, who was on the Pats. He's having a good training camp. They'll probably get 15 wins again, and he'll probably be a wide receiver 1. And then I'll just be crying in the corner. But let's hope that doesn't happen.
The train's always full steam ahead in Kansas City under the helm of Andy Reid, Adam. I mean, it's got to fall off the wheels at some point, hasn't it? Like, they can't.
Come on, Adam, agree with me.
They can't be this dominant.
I think they will be. I don't see what's changed. Really, I look at it and I go, well what's changed? One thing,
the O-line's got weaker.
Yeah.
Has it though? I mean, okay, so Joe Tooney's gone. Josh Simmons has come in. Jalen Moore has come in. I mean, Simmons, obviously, it's going to be about how he does when he comes back from the injury, which is why he missed most of the championship winning season at Ohio State. But he's very, very good. And when they can get him fit, he will be really good. So I'm not saying that they're going to go and win 15 games again. I think that's very unlikely. And actually, you can kind of see based on the way that they were. So we all know Sky loves a stat. So we've got a nice little stat for him. Whole of last season, 25th on completing first down, 25th in the league. Every second down, they were 21st. But on third down, they were 4th. So basically what it means is that it doesn't really matter. Patrick Mahomes is clutch and he's going to get the ball over the line. And that's the end of it. So I think because of that, it's very, very difficult to see anything other than a Chiefs win when it comes to this division. I think that the other teams have improved and there's been a lot of movement in this division. And, we'll talk about them later, but they have done very well in this offseason. But the fact is that this team actually hasn't got any worse. You could argue, yeah, okay, the O-line is maybe a little bit worse, but they've got Rashee Rice back, and he's only going to get a 2 or 4 game suspension. Like, he's not going to get any more. Kamara got a 3-game suspension for exactly the same thing. He's not going to get anything bigger than that. So, yeah, he probably will miss a little bit of time, but he was really, really good for them in his rookie season, and they missed him a lot. They still went 15-2 without him. He only played, 4 or 5 weeks, something like that last year. So, in theory, if you actually look at it, it kind of looks like the team's better. And I'm not saying they're going to win 15 games, because I do believe that the other teams in this division have improved, and I think some of them will probably get wins against them. But the fact is that the goal is still the Super Bowl, and there's still a team that is capable of winning the whole thing. And I think that they probably will come out and win this division.
Sky, he talks about all the good stuff, but
Yeah,
one of the bad stuff for the Chiefs last year was the running game, because Pacheco just wasn't the same. He was injured. Kareem Hunt came in, doesn't look like the Kareem Hunt of old. They've got both of them guys back. They've strengthened it with Elijah Mitchell. I mean, I was a massive fan of Isaiah Pacheco. Huge fan. I thought he was a wonderful player at the start of his Kansas City career, and it's not really kicked on. And it almost feels like they're not really sure who's going to be starting, or is this going to be just full committee now, sort of style that we're seeing amongst a lot of NFL teams? Because it was one thing I thought was notable, and we had the privilege of being in New Orleans for the Super Bowl and seeing a lot of this team, and seeing a lot of the way how they acted and their behaviors and them up front and close and personal. And I asked questions to Isaiah Pacheco and on the opening night, and I still thought he was a really likable character. He seemed to be very in touch with his faith and with how the Super Bowl was going to go, I suppose, which take it or leave that. I personally leave it, but he picks that white cross up. So yeah, like
it didn't help in the Super Bowl.
No, I mean it didn't. No matter how much amount of praying helped in the Super Bowl. So yeah, is that a big notable reel? Or am I just doing it really?
I think and when you said about are they a dynasty, and the reason I think I can talk about them in more detail is that Patrick Mahomes obviously is a guy who can elevate players to a level that they wouldn't normally play on another team, like Tom Brady did. And I think in the run game, you remember the Patriots' last Super Bowl win over the Rams. Sony Michel had 1,000 yards, good year, and was great. But then what's he done since? And I think Isaiah Pacheco obviously runs harder than a guy like him and is good, but he's a product of his environment, and that happens to be in a very, very successful franchise with arguably, one of the best head coaches of all time, and potentially is going to be, one of the best quarterbacks of all time. However his career pans out between now and then, he's still been phenomenal since coming to the league. So it will be a committee. And I think Andy Reid knows that. Though obviously as a Chiefs fan, you just hope that Pacheco can get at least back to some sort of level that we saw earlier on, like when they won the Super Bowl, when they did beat the Eagles. I think the one, just back to Rice, I think Adam's right. It's good that he's coming back, and even if he gets a few games back, he did do his ACL though. There is that too. And I just think, Fred, to say your point, which I also mentioned, is that they are a year older. It does catch up at some point. And I think the Chiefs are probably falling maybe into that thing that Bill Belichick got guilty of we'll just get by with what we did because we are good, but you will get found out at some point. And they did against the Eagles. And I think the difference is with the Chiefs, not to make it all about my Patriots, but the fact that they got blown out in the way they did. It wasn't like they only lost by 6 points to the Eagles. And I think that just went to show that they can be beat, and they got beaten pretty handsomely. So even if they got through the AFC again, I think there's plenty of teams on that NFC side that could deal with them. But let's hope they don't make the Super Bowl again, please. No, we don't want that.
Man, the Eagles ripped off Andy Reid's mustache and beat Patrick Mahomes to death with it. Like it was so crazy. Obviously, like I said, we were there. They got what? Sorry.
What does he say? Bungaroos. Try to say they got done. They got Dungaroos. You remember Andy Reid says Bundarooski, the advert? It's like an advert for Verizon. He's like, get your bundle Rooski or something.
Oh, okay.
Sure, this wasn't a
right.
dream of yours that you had, you know.
Bundaruski of a dream.
Yeah.
I mean, Sky, you're right. I mean, we don't want him to do it again, do we? We don't want him to be that successful again. We like having new teams come to the forefront, surely, don't we? Is it getting a bit stale? Is it getting a bit boring? I'm sure it's not getting boring for Chiefs fans. I definitely know it's not getting boring for Chiefs fans, but it's getting boring to all of us, isn't it?
I'm just glad there's two teams to push them. I think it's a really good division, and I think it genuinely is one of the few people obviously tried to make headlines in the last few years. The Chiefs will fall off, etc. I think this is the year where you actually can make a genuine argument, as opposed to just saying it for the sake of it.
It is boring though. Like, you are right. It is boring that they just make it every year, sort of thing. It's like you do want to see other teams get there, but they're a very good team, and I just don't. It's difficult to get away from them.